What's up everyone, Darcblade here with the next episode in my series of Mass Effect 3 multiplayer class guides. Today we're going to be talking about possibly my favourite class, the Asari Adept. We are actually going into the alien classes now and moving away from the human-based characters. The Asari Adept is a powerful character if spec'd right. It's great at two things. The first being crowd control, CC, and the second, its damage output. Now the Asari Adept is the definition of a glass cannon. I've spec'd mine as the following. You basically have to spec into stasis up to the point where your stasis becomes a bubble. So it's like a stasis bubble where you fly at someone and it traps everyone inside, stopping them from moving. Of course, damage will break this. The second I max out is warp. Warp is a little bit more valuable than throw, and it also means that you can put a debuff on the enemies who can't be hit by stasis. And of course there is throw, which is just a nice way of activating your biotic explosions. I maxed out Asari Justicar as well for power and for decreased weight, as getting to a 200% recharge timer is a very nice and big deal with the Asari Adept. You can of course go a little bit less, like 190, but 200 is what you should be aiming for. Once you got the upgraded weapons like the Carnifex and the Paladin upgraded enough, 200% with even these weapons shouldn't be too much of a problem. Another way you could play the Asari Adept is to take a heavier long range weapons and stasis people and try to get headshots. I wouldn't preferably go for this style of gameplay, as I find Asari Adepts are far much more powerful with their biotic explosions than with any weapon. Now, this is the first alien race I'm covering, so I should mention that alien races function a little bit differently to the human ones. For example, the Asari, instead of having a roll dodge, they have a almost like teleport move, which drains their barrier unfortunately, but gets them out of trouble so much quicker than a roll or dodge. They also have a really strong area of effect heavy melee attack. This is good, but it takes a long time to use compared to other heavy melees out there. This can leave the Asari, and especially the Asari Adept, a little bit vulnerable, so it's maybe not advised. The Asari themselves are not the strongest race out there. They are a little bit below humans in terms of health and shields, or barriers, but they are definitely above Drell in terms of barriers. But played right, this shouldn't matter, as the spec I have gone for has absolutely no fitness in. This is because I stay out of trouble as an Asari Adept. Don't go into combat situations alone. Go with a teammate. Provide crowd control for them, and attack from long distance rather than going up close. So stasis, especially stasis bubble, is the key to success with an Asari Adept. Basically, this will save your ass, save your teammates, and provide you with a great form of crowd control. Unfortunately, it can only be used against non-armoured opponents. So, armoured opponents like Geth Pyros, Banshees, Brutes, unfortunately this won't work on. This is where Warp comes in. Warp is the alternative to stasis on these targets. Unfortunately, it comes without the crowd control. One thing you should do as well with stasis is if you have got a heavier weapon on, you can stasis people and allow for a following headshot. You should also, after you stasis someone, activate a biotic charge with throw. This causes great amount of damage and causes damage to anyone around the person or persons who have been stasis. I personally also like to spec stasis that there is a chance to activate no cooldown on the second ability. This makes the stasis throw combo really, really good. Now, like I said, some targets are immune to stasis, and this is where you have to use warp instead. Warp will put the debuff on these targets that increases damage to that target from your teammates, so it helps them out, and it also activates the debuff that when you follow up with a throw will activate a biotic explosion. Now, like the human sentinel, the warp throw combo is really strong, especially so with the Asari Adept, because the Asari are masters of biotics. Having a 200% reduced cooldown as well means that you could spam this warp throw and cause great amount of damage. This can bring down Atlases and the stronger opponents really quickly. And if you are aiming at the stronger opponents, like the Atlases, the Brutes, even the Banshees, anyone who's walking close by will be affected by the biotic explosion caused by the warp throw combo, and thus these will rack you up points as well. Another benefit of having the 200% cooldown reduction is that you can multitask almost with your biotics. For example, you can stasis bubble a couple of organics walking up one way towards your encamped area, whilst in the background you can warp throw someone else. After that warp throw biotic explosion has activated, you can quickly throw another throw at the stasis bubbled organics, causing the biotic explosion there, and rinse and repeat. At the start of the video, I did say there is a way of playing this with heavier weaponry. This basically relies on you stasising an enemy and then getting off headshots as fast as possible with sniper rifles or shotguns. Well, I wouldn't personally advise shotguns, but other weaponry, put it that way. I don't like to play this way, as I think the biotic explosions are key to a great Asari Adept. Now, I did mention it a minute ago as well, that I didn't spec anything into fitness. The reason for this is because on gold mode, even with maximum fitness, you can take maybe 2-3 more hits than you could if you had nothing spec'd into fitness. This is why the Asari Adept is a definition of a glass cannon. So I thought, okay, I'm getting better at the game. I should be able to avoid getting hit, or when I do, I should know that I should be taking cover instead of just standing out in the open. I have to rely on my teammates as well to draw a little bit of fire rather than myself taking and tanking the enemies. If you really did feel that you had to put some points into fitness, then you can maybe sacrifice a bit in throw, as out of all the abilities the Asari Adept has, this is probably the least crucial. Now, the Asari Adept, as with all classes in the multiplayer, seems to perform better against certain enemies than others. I personally find that the Asari Adept is great against the Geth and especially Cerberus, but not so much against the Reapers. I think it's because they have more armoured troops than the other enemy races out there. But to be honest, in all fairness, this doesn't really matter. It just means you can't use stasis bubble on them as much, but you can still dish out a lot of damage with the warp throw combo. You just have to be cautious not to get hit yourself. As soon as you get hit, just dodge out the way and take cover. Now, I normally spec all my classes for silver mode, but this one is actually been spec'd for gold mode, and it's my primary class I use in gold mode. When I'm with my team of regulars, this is the class I like to use. Of course, if I was going with a public group, I would use a different class, probably because I don't have any fitness on this class. And public groups in gold are not always the wisest thing. Anyway, let's summarise. The Asari Adept is an amazing class, my favourite. To be honest, I'm saying it's my favourite. It is a glass cannon though. It takes a lot of damage, especially if you have no fitness like I do. But having all the other abilities maxed out means you have one of the best crowd control abilities in the game, and you also have a lot of damage at your fingertips. Give yourself a nice decent pistol. Try to make sure that your recharge time is 200%. Maybe one night you can cut it. Learn your enemy types and what combination works best against them. Rely on your teammates for cover. Get out of there if you are taking damage, and enjoy the fireworks that this class can create. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video and my guide about the Asari Adept. I've been Darcblade, thanks for watching, subscribe and like for more.